A couple of months ago, we had what was one of the worst hailstorms I've ever seen in my entire life. Golf ball sized hail combined with high winds destroyed our garden, totaled the roof on our house. Now it has to be repainted as well. We had one of our cars that was out, the windshield was cracked in multiple places. Total hail damage. The insurance company ended up completely totaling that car out. It was an absolute disaster. And before that hail could even finish dropping from the ground, it seemed like there were roofing salesmen everywhere. They were like vultures. And it got me to wondering, is the roofing industry a big scam? So when something like that happens, if you've ever had hail damage or any kind of a terrible storm like that, and all of a sudden your neighborhood, your area gets hit with so many salesmen for so many different companies, it can be kind of overwhelming. You're operating off of several different emotions. I know I was. My car was destroyed, and you go outside and you see all these cracks all over the windshield, and then you're mad because you didn't pull it in. You didn't get a chance to move all the stuff. Basically my garage is also my shop, and so I can move this stuff, but it's a little bit of a chore. And so it came in so hard and so fast that it was just something that, unfortunately, in hindsight, yeah, should have moved it, but we didn't. And so because of that, there were lots and lots of emotions. And what I told myself is that I'm not going to get swept up and I'm not going to get caught up in this because I don't think that it's actually there. Because honestly, there's kind of a manufactured urgency that happens. And as I've been going through this process and dealing with insurance and dealing with companies and all of this stuff, I realized that, man, it's been 2 months later and it's still okay, right? Like, we still haven't replaced the roof. Now, there's a few things to consider here, and we're going to talk about those and when there is some urgency and when there's not. But at the beginning, there's a lot of manufactured urgency. You've got all of these companies and they're running around and they're going, hey, man, we want to help you. We want to look at your roof. We know that there's going to be damage, da 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 da. And then they're going to have another, if you say, yeah, go ahead and stop by and take a look. Well, it's not going to be that guy that looks. They're going to send another guy and he'll be there in an hour and he's going to start looking at everything. And so I went ahead and I said, hey, sure, send a guy out. And so he sends a guy out and I told the guy, I was like, hey, I'm going to hop up on the roof with you. So we go up and we look at some things and there's obviously some damage, right? And I know that. And he shows some things, points some things out, talks about the gutters and shows kind of the differences. Thankfully, there was nothing like missing shingles or anything like that. But there was definitely a ton of hail damage. It had really, really, really damaged the shingles. And so as we're looking at all of this stuff and we come down off the ladder and we're talking about it, the next step for him is that he's trying to get me to sign a contingency agreement. And this is the thing, and this is the manufactured urgency, right? They're telling you, you got to do this. And, you want to sign with us and you want to do it right now and you want to sign this agreement. And what this does is this allows us now, we're going to start working with you. We're going to get with your insurance company. We're going to help. We're going to get in the middle of all this for you so you don't have to worry about it. And it just felt weird, right? So I didn't do it. I said, I appreciate it. I'm going to keep your card. Give me some time to think about it. I file the claim with the insurance company and start going through the process. My results so far have been very good. State Farm has been honestly very helpful with us as we've worked through this. I honestly have had no issues. I know that's not always the case, but I've been pretty lucky thus far. And through this process, what I determined is that I didn't have to have them to help me do every single thing because they've told me, hey, now, when you have your roofer come out and you pick somebody to come and do this, if they find other things that are wrong, have them send us the information and we can work with them to make adjustments. I didn't have to sign any contingency agreement to be able to have that same benefit. And if I had signed that contingency agreement, what happens is now I'm locked into saying I'm going to use this company and they're going to help me. And then what's also going to happen is they're going to have a lot more control in dealing back and forth with the insurance, and I'm going to kind of become the third party rather than I'm actually the guy that should be talking to them and making sure. And so I know that there are probably some roofers that are out there. They're going to come after me. They're going to tell me I'm all wrong on this. But I'm just telling you, so far, my experience has been very simple, very easy. Because again, it is a little bit of, it kind of comes across when this happens like a slimy business, and it comes across a little predatory. And so what I don't like is I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. I don't like the fact that before the dust settles, they're already out there and it's like a bunch of vultures. That doesn't set right with me. Because at the end of the day, when you sign that agreement, it doesn't just magically summon roofers to your area the next day. See, that agreement is not for your benefit. It's for their benefit. And so they can try to, now again, a lot of those guys can sell ice to an Eskimo. So they're going to try to tell you it's definitely all for your benefit, but it benefits them as well. And here's why I know that it's not as urgent as you may think. It's been 2 months and my area is just now getting shingles put on their houses. And we're going to talk about now, here's what the next part of this is. The next part that in my opinion is the benefit is that now I am going through this whole process and I'm watching all of these roofers in my area as they're doing their thing. I'm figuring out which ones are showing up early and getting stuff knocked out, which ones have big crews, which ones have small crews, which ones take 3 days and which ones take 1, which ones are leaving a mess, which ones are not. Basically now I'm having an audition for who's going to put a roof on my house. And even better than that, now that these guys are putting these roofs on these houses, I'm able to go to my neighbors and say, hey, I saw you were using so-and-so. How was your experience? And they can go, oh, it was really good. I had this, and this. Or actually they did this, but there's a few cosmetic things that I'm going to have them come back and fix. Or, oh, they didn't show up. They were supposed to be here on this day and they ended up being 3 days late and there was a headache. Again, now I have an audition and I'm using my neighbors as the kind of trial run to see who's working, who's not, how do I like it, what results are there. Because again, it's been 2 months and if most of them probably signed really quickly, jumped on something really fast. But just now, my area is just now getting a roof put on. So there's no big hurry. There's no big urgency. My neighborhood is a giant audition for roofers. And I get to be the one now to sit and take notes and figure out who I'm going to use. Because honestly, that free inspection thing, that kind of is a little bit of a Trojan horse. They're really kind of masking the fact that they're trying to get you to sign that contingency agreement so that you can be locked into them before you even know if they do good work. Before you even know, are they actually from my area? Or when they get done, are they going to be in Kansas City next week? That's the problem. And that's why you have to, when something like this happens, as emotional and frustrating and mad and all this stuff as you're going to be, you have to step back and operate for a moment with a little bit of collectiveness and say, okay, I'm going to stay calm here and I'm going to accept the fact that this has happened. And I'm not just going to jump on the first person that shows up. Instead, I'm going to take my time. Because if you're not careful, those guys that are going to be in Kansas City next week, maybe they don't even have a brick and mortar actual office or anything. Maybe, I don't know. I see some of these signs as I've been kind of doing this because I see signs everywhere. There were tons of them the next few days after the storm hit. But I see these signs and I'm like, I feel like this sign was made like yesterday with AI. And it's some of the names of these companies and all this stuff. And it just feels like somebody just slapped something together right quick and they're going to try to become a roofing contractor. And that's where it gets dangerous, right? You need to make sure they've got insurance, make sure that kind of stuff, make sure all the legal stuff is actually legitimate. Look at Google, look at reviews, try to find somebody that's used them. Those are all things that matter because no matter how good that warranty is, it doesn't matter if they are actually supposedly from here, but then turns out they're in Milwaukee or wherever. The problem is that when you operate off of that emotion, it becomes a real issue. And if you're not careful, it can get you in a bind. Now, there are a couple of things to remember. If you're missing shingles, if you have actually like water is leaking in your house or is going to be leaking in your house, your first thing at that point is a freaking tarp. Like you don't even need a contingency. Like we just need to find a guy and say, hey, can you come help me fix this? Right? Like, no, this is not I'm going to sign anything. You fix my house later. I need a guy to come out and fix this problem. I need a guy to come out and to fix this area that's missing shingles. That's an actual urgent need. But if you go, my shingles are tore up, but it's not the end of the world. Like I can still survive and my house is not leaking. Because what I've found out so far is that my insurance company has said, hey, once you get this check, you have a couple of years to actually do the work. That's one of the things. And so I'm like, holy cow, right? Because let's be honest, we're not planning on this stuff to happen. So depending upon what your deductible is, You may not realize that you have a 2% deductible, which means if you have a $300,000 or $400,000 house, now all of a sudden you have a $6,000 or $8,000 deductible that you got to pay just to be able to get going, right? So that's another thing. And so understanding that I might need a little bit of breathing room here so that I can deal with my deductible, so that I can get ready financially and not get myself in an emotional bind. Because again, this industry really has, one of the things that I've noticed is that there's a lot of manufactured urgency. I've been getting phone calls still 2 months later from bogus numbers that will be spoofed numbers that look local. And because of kind of my job and what I do and things like that, I will go ahead and answer it and then come to find out it's like, it's somebody that obviously doesn't, hey, we were in your area. And you can just tell they're just reading something. They're just trying to sell a thing real quick. Big, huge red flag, right? So just don't fall for that kind of stuff. So is the roofing industry itself a scam? I think there are definitely parts of it that are. It's weird to me that the way that insurance and roofing works and how, if the insurance says we'll give you $20,000 for your roof, that it's like magically the roofers can do it for $20,000. And if the insurance had said we could do it for $25,000, then magically it will cost $25,000, right? Like that's weird. It seems a little slimy, but it is what it is. And, at the end of the day, you got to have a roof when something like this happens. So what you got to do is you got to find the right guys. Roofing is hard work. I watch these guys doing these roofs and I know that it's a hard job. Okay. I hate putting Christmas lights up on my house. I sure don't want to be up there doing the shingles. So I'm not going to say this is not a hard industry and stuff. But here's what I also say, that a lot of these companies, you got one guy that owns the company and he's driving around in an Escalade, sitting out there in the driveway watching 450 other guys up there working that are probably making $9 an hour that probably aren't even from this country originally, right? So, I mean, it's just kind of the way that it is. And is the industry a scam? No, but it seems a little weird sometimes when I look at it and I see kind of how it operates. Because honestly, I would much rather figure out a way to just knock out the middle guy and just go to those guys that are from Mexico or wherever they're from that are up there killing it, doing an awesome job. I'd rather just go there and talk to them and be like, hey, dude, can you just come put a roof on my house? Like, you're the guy that's doing the work. Like, I don't need this guy in the Escalade for anything. But, it's just, unfortunately, it's just kind of the way that this thing works. And I know you end up dealing with insurance things and you end up making sure that, that whoever's up there has liability insurance, workers' comp insurance. And maybe that's part of the reason that the guy gets to sit in the Escalade. I don't know. But here's what I'll tell you. Don't get caught up in the emotion of it. When a storm comes through your area. Now, again, I'm not talking about a tornado comes through and destroys your house. I'm talking about a hailstorm comes through, a really bad storm comes through and destroys your roof. Don't get caught up in the emotion of it. Remember that you've got time. I know from experience, I could have got caught up in the emotion 2 months ago and I still would just now be getting a roof. And so because of that, I might as well just kind of sit back, watch these guys, see how they're doing, see if they're doing a good job, find one, talk to my neighbors, figure out who's doing good work, who's not. And then that will help me be able to decide who I can trust and who's going to do a decent job. I want you to be able to do the same thing. I don't want you to get locked into something you don't have to. I don't want you to get taken advantage of. If you got questions, you got comments, you can always email me, hello@secondshiftfm.com. I'm happy to do that. I read them all, and I will email you back. If you got anything else, maybe you're a roofer and, contractor, and you want to tell me that I have no idea what I'm talking about, feel free to do that down in the comments. Maybe you're somebody that's been taken advantage of in this industry, had somebody from this industry take advantage of you. Let me know that down there. I'd love to hear what you got. Let's keep the conversation going.